Good afternoon, one and all present here. So today we are going to discuss about middleware technologies. Myself, Dr. Muruganantham, Coordinator, Department of Computer Science Speech. In middleware technologies, so today we are going to discuss about component concepts. As you are aware of that, we are living in an era, it's been called as component-based technologies. So something like we have a COM, DCOM, and we have Java Beans, enterprise Java Beans, and like there are so many softwares have been available in the current market where it is easier for the developers to develop an application. But before this component era has come, we've seen that during the 19th century, the software products are being handcrafted and which is very expensive as well as it has been error prone also. So the reason behind it, the developer need to look into each and every aspects of the programming, and they need to go for developing on it. And if they're making an error, so they need to debug, and they need to identify line by line, and they have to check where the errors occur. It's become very tedious task. And just imagine if it is going to be a complex application, if they are developing on it, it is very tough for the developers to identify and rectify the errors. So to come out of this crisis, so the software component industry as well as component market are being introduced. So what is this component? Component is basically nothing that a small application. It is a unit of composition with interfaces and explicit context dependencies. So once the component has been rolled out into the market, it is very easier for the developers to create an application. It's a matter of time they can create applications because they divided something like code component as well as design component. So whenever they are making a design, so the design component will come into play where they can make a design very easier, something like graphical user interface. So all the controls, everything is being available for the developers, just need to drag and drop. And majority of the part of the coding also is being running at the behind. So only the code logic need to be developed by the developers. So it's become easier for the developers. Okay. So what are the characteristics of components? Number one, component is a unit of independent deployment. So as already we discussed, component is nothing but an application. So small application. So we can directly going for a deploying it. It's an independent deployment. So something like the component has been coded and it has been tested and it has been all the SDC cycle has been undergone. So because of that, independently we can go for deploying the component. So the advantage is like something like when you want, we can attach the component and we can use it. And when it doesn't want, we can go for detaching that particular component. We can keep it aside. So that is the biggest benefit when you go for using your component. So component is basically nothing but a unit of third-party composition. Doesn't mean that you have to go for developing from the scratch. So you can buy it from the market, which is being readily available. You can just buy it and you can use it. One example, something like if you doesn't have a payment gateway in your application, where you need to go for it, creating the application. So instead of that, it's being readily available in the market. You can just need to attach into your application. You can start working on it. So through third party, we can go for getting it and we'll be getting it much cheaper price because just imagine if you go for developing an application of a payment gateway. So you need to sit and work for certain months and you have to allocate resources also. So all these things can be reduced since readily that component has been available in the market, you can directly start using on it. So that is the one of the key characteristics of component. And these are the list of features of component. Number one is the information hiding. And number two, context independence, implicit invocation, interoperability, component models, simplicity, reliability, flexibility, component safety and fault isolation, and component functionality and performance. So these are the features of components, we are going to discuss one by one. So starting with information hiding. So what is this information hiding? It's basically hiding the implementation part from the user. So something like a user doesn't feel that what is happening at the background. So because of that, even you can able to make very complex applications and make it easier for the users. And here in this, components are something like a black box. And the applications builder can replace one component by another. It supports the same interface and functionality. So here another advantage is like one component has been failed or it has some issues. And where if some other component with the same functionality is being available, we can able to replace it and we can start using it. So that is one of the feature of component. And here the interface. So interface is nothing that a named collection of methods that is represent a particular functionality. Why you are bringing the interface? Because the collection of interface only we are going to make as a component. So interface is the core here or the keys here. So it's basically nothing that a collection of methods, but only thing is the implementations wherever trying to use on it there that will be get implemented. And these interfaces are being created for a specific functionality. The second advantage of component is context independence. So components are easily transferable into different application context. So, and as you are aware of that, it is self-contained software elements. So easily you can able to transfer into different application contexts. It has become very much possible when you try to use your components. As you're aware of that, the component has the flexibility where you can use it in different platform. So because of that, you can able to transfer from one application to another application. It's become very easier. And as you're aware of that, it is a software product. It's one of the software product where it may be a smaller one or depends on the applications become complex also. And the third one, which is implicit invocation. Components use an indirection mechanism to facilitate themselves to be exchangeable. So because of that, it is implicit in the sense it is inbuilt. So where it's a kind of a mechanism they have created where it can able to exchange themselves in case if it is going to be some issues, it can exchange with the other component and you can start functioning on it in such a way that you can create a component and it will function. If there is one particular component being failure, the other component will come into play and it's start using on it. So these are all the advantages when you go for using your components. And interoperability. So as you are aware of that, the components can be created using different programming languages as well as different platforms. So because of that, we can able to use your components on any platform. Maybe for example, if you create one component using Java platform and that you want to use it in different platform. So maybe for example, Microsoft, or if you want to go for a Linux or some other platform, which is very much possible, you can go for using it. So that is one of the feature of interoperability in components. So which is basically facilitate a component to communicate with a component programmed in another programming language or located on a different host. And the next one is component models. So component systems are to determine the interfaces, composition, and interactions of components. And here, Java Beans from Oracle and ActiveX from Microsoft. So there are different models are being created. So where either it may be a inbuilt models or it may be a customized model. So these inbuilt models and the customized models are being used from Java Beans and latest edition, which is called Java Enterprise, Enterprise Java Beans. And these two are from Oracle. And similar way from COM and DCOM as well as ActiveX are from Microsoft.